Hey, what's up guys? Cloud of Truth here with some more Battlefield 3 gameplay, and today I've got some conquests on Epicenter for you all. Going to be running support class with the UMP 45 personal defense weapon, but before we get into that, how about to start the match by, I don't know, is this C4 trolling or what? I don't know. You can kind of maybe think it is. Run up to this B flag after taking Delta. Throw the sticks of C4 down. Thankfully, a teammate was running MAV, which allowed me to see the guys on the mini-map, and then I take out one as my squad mate takes out the other one. So kind of funny little C4 kill right there. I don't do that kind of stuff all that often in terms of just throwing it down and waiting for somebody, but I don't know. I thought I would leave that part in there. Maybe it was just kind of funny. Or maybe some of you guys hate it when people do that. But, you know, I don't do that all that often. That's like the first time in that particular spot I've ever done that. So it was just an opportunity to get a C4 kill, which doesn't happen all the time. So I figured I would take advantage of it. But anyway, I'm rambling on about that way too long. But yeah, I'm running UMP 45 in the support class today. And this is actually a pretty good match for me. The end score turns out to be, I go 21-0, I think. So it was, I guess, a flawless round, although I did die twice and I got revived. And my longest streak, I think, was 13, which was the last part of the gameplay. I got killed up here in just a minute or so. I'll die, get revived, and then not long after, get killed again, then revived after that. And then once after I get revived the second time, then I go on my 13 kill streak, I think, towards the end of the match. And we ended up spawn trapping this team and making all the good players on their rage quit. So we were left with a bunch of guys who just joined late. That's why in the end score you'll see a bunch of guys who are like, you know, 0-3 or maybe 2-5 or 1-4 or something like that, just because they just joined up and didn't really have a chance to make it out of their spawn because all the other guys that were on their team before rage quits just because they got mad because they got spawn trapped. So, anyways, I'm going to talk a little about the UMP 45 as well as some conquests on Epicenter. I haven't done any kind of tactics things when it comes to Aftermath much. And that's one of the things I kind of want to do right here. Actually, one thing you got to know on this Charlie flag, the C flag here, one of the more common spawn points, at least what I find myself spawning in, is the position I was looking at beforehand. Right, there's a shipping crates where if I turn around, basically right now it's behind me, and I'm running towards it here. This area right here and to my left is, for me, I notice whenever I spawn at Charlie, that's where a common place where I spawn it. So that's one of the directions I like to look at because I know the enemies will probably be coming from there. Even if the flag is already neutralized, guys, it doesn't hurt to just keep checking, looking for there because somebody may have spawned right before the neutralization happened, and so they will get a chance to actually spawn near that flag, and you may think you're safe when really you're not. But, oh, look at that UMP 45. So great. And yes, it's a weapon I haven't done, I don't know, I haven't really used all that much. It got buffed, I think it was after the armored kill patches when the UMP 45 really got buffed a lot. And it does have that 34 max damage, which is so wonderful in close quarters. And some people say it's overpowered. I completely disagree 100%. The UMP 45 has to have something going for it. If it doesn't have a 34 max damage, what's the point of using the gun? It's not that good. If it goes back to having anywhere basically below 34, in my eyes, it's a worthless gun. It doesn't really have a place because you have slow firing weapons like a PP-2000 that are really good when it comes to range. And if the UMP 45 takes the same basically the amount of bullets to kill as a PP-2000, there's no real sense in running a UMP, which only as a little over half the ammo size if you run extended mags on the PP-2000. So giving it that 34 max damage really allows it to compete in close quarters, especially because it has a really low, I think it's 650 for its RPM. Its fire rate's real low. And so that 34 max damage allows it to do pretty good in close quarters, but when it comes to range, this thing it's just garbage. It is so terrible at range. It has a minimum, I think, of 12.5 for its damage out to 40 meters, and it's just such a drop-off. It's like 8 to 40 for its damage range, and it's just not good at all. So when it comes to range, the UMP 45, you do not want to use it there. Try to keep your engagements close quarters, which is what I'm trying to do here. One of the things you notice is coming up right up here this wall. I see this enemy right here, start to shoot at him, but I notice there's guys down there, so I duck behind this wall and the staircase. I could have turned to try to shoot at them, but knowing my weapon and knowing the limitations on it, I'm not going to do that because I'm not going to win that gunfight. You see a support guy and a sniper. Even LMGs will beat the UMP 45 at range unless you're just, you know, super accurate and crazy good with it and get headshots all the time. You're not going to do good at range. This weapon just cannot do it. So here on Epicenter, as you can see, we're taking this Delta flag, and this is kind of where the spawn trapping begins a little bit. I kill one more recon right here, I think, who is, I don't know, I guess he spawned on the D flag, and that's right there, I think, is another common spawn point, as well as basically around the entire pool area is another common spawn point around the Delta flag. I'm still working on exactly where all the spawns are located at. It's difficult because when you're not playing maps like Sand Crossing on the Charlie flag, where you just know where all the spawns are just because you spawn basically on the flag, it's a little bit more difficult, but This couple guys surprised me right here, and I don't know why the engineer didn't kill me, but of course I just failed miserably at the aiming, and eventually do take that guy out. But when it comes to Epicenter, what I like to try to do, because the C flag is one of the most highly contested flags on the map. There's always action going on, especially if you're someone that plays on PC and you have 32 or 64 player servers. On console, the 12v12, it's still really action-packed. I thought I killed that guy. Apparently I missed with the last bullet to derp, so I take him out with my Glock, but the C flag is it's just such a high traffic area. Everybody wants to go after the Charlie flag, and as well as seems to me the Bravo flag are the two most common flags that get taken. And for me, the C flag and the B flag are very difficult because the Bravo flag capture radius is not that high. The area in which you can capture it in, you don't have much room, and because of that, it's hard to stay in cover. So sometimes attacking the B flag, I really like to make sure I'm doing it in groups. I like to have, right here is a good example. Have a lot of people trying to capture the flag. If you try to do this by yourself, the enemy can spawn basically behind buildings around you, and there's no real good hiding spot. There's only one next to kind of that dumpster and inside the bottom part of the broken out, or I guess the rubble that's in a building is the only kind of hiding spot you have. And so because of that, if an enemy spawns and he can kind of peek around the corner, he doesn't see where you are, he knows you're already there. If he knows where the capture, basically the capture radius is, that he knows you're automatically there. So he can throw a grenade, flush you out, and then he's probably going to kill you, no problem. So if you're taking the B flag, personally, I like to try to have at least 2 or 3 guys with me to try to take that flag, just because it's so difficult alone because there's no cover to take the flag behind. So what about a setup on this UMP 45? What have I got on this right now? Well, I'm running Reflex, Red Dot, and the laser sight, and that's it. Now, a lot of people like to run a suppressor on the UMP 45, which actually, considering basically its role in the game, the stats on the gun, its purpose, I think it's a good setup to run the suppressor on, because the UMP 45 is more of a close range weapon. That's where it's going to do well at. And so a suppressor, while it does decrease, sure, I think it cuts your max damage range in half, it really does kind of, I don't know, emphasize the fact that the UMP is a more close quarters weapon, and you get to stay off that minimap. As far as the flash suppressor goes, you can use it if you like. I don't find a need for it, really. I just don't think it's necessary on the weapon. And personally, I don't use a final third slot attachment. I do well without it. Just having a whatever scope you want, whether it be Cobra, holographic, or reflex, or even the iron sights, they're usable on this gun. And then I prefer a laser sight, because this thing does have some freaking deadly hip fire. It's really good when you clip a laser sight on there. Oh my goodness, it is even better. It's so much fun to hip fire with this thing. And you'll see actually coming up here in just a minute, there's a couple of shots I get it pretty good. They're good range kills just hip firing. So this thing is really good when it comes to hip firing. It's just phenomenal, really. So, but here you can see is a good example of how just little damage this thing does at range. You can hardly do any kind of damage at range. So when you hit situations like this, pull back, get inside some cover, wait for suppression to wear off, and then kind of reassess what's going on and pick your engagements more wisely. Now here, kind of take cover behind shipping crate in this wall right here. Look at this kill. I mean, this is pretty far, and I'm just hip firing with that. And see, as you can see, this thing, its hip fire accuracy is pretty darn good. So don't be afraid when it comes to it gets out closer to medium range. Don't be afraid to hip fire. You can do that. As another example right there, you can hip fire and take guys out. So, but just remember the UMP 45 medium to close quarters. If you start going out to medium and past that, this weapon will struggle really bad. So don't take it out to long ranges. Don't take this on armored kill maps. I mean, you can. I've done it before, actually. Some of my videos I have. But don't take it as far as just huge open maps and try to pick fights with guys with like assault rifles and snipers, because you will lose. It's almost a guaranteed fact you will lose unless their aim is just terrible. So anyway, hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Maybe you found it a little bit helpful with some of the tactics. I didn't go over like all the flags and things like that, just because I think C and B flag are the two biggest when it comes to action on the map. And the C flag, for me, like I said, those spawn locations are the most common I find, and that's the ones I watch the most. And the Bravo flag, like I said before, I like to attack it in groups of a couple guys, just because it's so difficult to cap it alone, because for me, I find the capture radius is just so small. But anyway, hopefully you guys found this video rather enjoyable. If you did consider rating it, I'd appreciate it very much. And leave me your thoughts about Epicenter Conquest. If you have any kind of other tips that you found maybe helpful, drop them down in the comment section below, as well as leave your thoughts about the UMP 45. I'm curious to hear you guys, how you guys think about this weapon. And in just a second, I'll pop up the scoreboard and it'll show I think it was the 13 kill streak I went on. So yeah, once again, hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. And I'm recording this on December 31st, so hopefully you guys have a great new year. See you later. Bye.